Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from Chairman of Council of Deputies of Libya related to aspects of cooperation between the two countries. The 4th International Arab Infrastructure Technology Forum calls for the necessity of creating pan-Arab countries' technologies. And in a statement to Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, the Minister of Manpower says all parties of production contributed in formulating the new labour law. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Her Royal Highness Princess Muna bin Saud bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a written message from Chairman of Council of Deputies of Libya, Councillor Akila Saleh Isa, related to aspects of bilateral cooperation existing between the two countries and matters of mutual concern. On behalf of His Majesty the Sultan, the message was handed to His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said when he received in his office this morning His Excellency Khalid Amr At-Tabib, envoy of the Chairman of Libyan Council of Deputies. During the meeting, they had cordial talks and viewed good relations linking the two countries and their peoples. The 4th International Arab Infrastructure Technology Forum, which was held in Muscat, called for the importance of investment and develop pan-Arab countries' technology for research and education. The forum was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad Al Said, as Assistant Secretary General for Communication and Institutional Identity at Scientific Research Council, witnessed the presence of more than 250 participants from 40 countries. It aimed to draw a roadmap for finding cooperation mechanism among global nets and connect them electronically in order to facilitate researchers and students in various countries in the world. Providing technical support services for medical system at Hospital of Sultan Qaboos University is one of the important projects awarded by the tender board during its 23rd meeting of the year. The additional projects and works for development projects in different fields worth more than 5.5 million Omani riyals. The board also agreed to award additional works for vital projects and services in various governorates of the Sultanate. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Asafi Al-Harabi, Chairman of the tender board. The Ministry of Manpower honored pioneering establishments in the field of national manpower employment and outperforming Omanis who work at private sector, media institutions and media personnel in 2014. It was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Kamil bin Fahd Al Said, who hailed the efforts made by the Ministry of Manpower related to following up and evaluating these establishments, ensuring the activation of Omanization plans and training programs. Highest organization percentage occupying huge number of vocational training center graduates were highlighted standards for honoring private institutions. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Bikri, Minister of Manpower, in a statement to Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, said that all parties of production contributed in formulating the new labor law. He said it is considered a national project, with all taking part from job owners, represented by Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, National Manpower, represented by General Federation of Oman Trade Unions, besides the Ministry and institutions of civil society. It passed through stages benefiting from remarks and requirements posed up by all parties to the entrusting specialized house of expertise to study all inputs and compare them with reality and the future, and that are applied in other countries, besides taking up with international labor laws, which is considered the main legislator in this regard. To the most extent, the law is drawing a policy through which the bodies concerned will implement according to job, environment and organization lists. After that, the Ministry of Manpower presented it to authorities concerned, and it is now taking procedural steps and hope to materialize soon. Stay tuned, because still to come in our news bulletin. The Nakhal Through History Forum was held in Nakhal Fort. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Exchange of points of view and ideas to upgrade work of municipal councils and legislative councils in both countries were at the focus of the meeting of His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council, with His Excellency Engineer Jassim bin Abdullah Al Malki, Chairman of Municipal Council of Qatar. The guests listened to a briefing on Shura progress in the Sultanate and its gradual development, in addition to aspects of responsibilities granted to Council of Oman to exercise legislative and monitoring work. Aspects of mutual concern that related to municipal work progress and ways to upgrade it, besides exchange of experiences in this regard, were at the focus of this meeting of His Excellency Ahmed bin Abdullah Al-Shihi, Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources, with His Excellency Engineer Jassim bin Abdullah Al Malki, Chairman of Municipal Council of Qatar, and his delegation. His Excellency Syed Saud bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, also met His Excellency Engineer Jassim bin Abdullah Al Malki, Chairman of Municipal Council of Qatar. They discussed ways of pushing bilateral cooperation in various fields in a way that they will serve both sides, in addition to exchange of experiences in urban development. His Excellency Engineer Jassim bin Abdullah Al Malki, Chairman of Municipal Council of Qatar, visited Royal Opera House Muscat, where he acquainted with programs and shows presented by the Opera House and activities it already held this year. The guest and his delegation listened to a briefing on the Opera House and its national arts it hosts. In Burundi, the third international conference to explore the march of history and civilization of Oman, East Africa, and the countries of the African Great Lakes is currently being held. More details with our reporter Abdullah bin Ahmed Rabi.
International Conference on Islamic Civilization and Culture and the Omani role in the countries of the African Great Lakes region commenced in Bujumbura, the capital of Burundi, in the presence of His Excellency the Burundian President Pierre Nkurunziza and the officials from the Sultanate led by His Excellency Minister of Awqaf and Religious Affairs Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Salmi and the National Record Archives officials. This conference, organized by the Sultanate National Record Archives Authority for over 5 days, brought together the historians, writers, scholars and experts from Oman, Burundi and other parts of the world to shed light on the important role Oman played at that time and how the wisdom of the leaders then contributed to lasting relationship with the African countries. On this occasion, His Excellency President of Burundi gave a speech, commended the role of Oman played in the past here in Burundi and African countries, and continued to play under the leaders of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Salmi, Minister of Awqaf and Religious Affairs, also gave a speech on this occasion. After the welcoming speeches delivered with the message of peace presented by Assistant Grand Mufti of the Sultanate.
Brothers and sisters, all friends, peace be upon you all. We are all honored to be here today in this lovely country by the spectacular spot at the Lake of Tanganyika, holding this conference on the issue of culture and civilization of Islam brought to the Great Lakes. And when we talk about the Islamic civilization and culture, then no doubt we are talking about a message of peace.
This conference aims at studying in depth the history of Islamic civilization and culture and the Omani role in the countries of the African Great Lakes region, including its political, cultural, economic and social history. It seeks to reveal the unity of its territories, the diversities of its communities, the continuum and change in the customs and traditions, and the impact of the population coexistence on cultural and architectural aspects. The papers of the conference will shed light on the one side of the Omani civilization in these regions. Furthermore, the valuable research papers prepared by various researchers from all over the world highlight the bright history of Oman in the countries of the African Great Lakes region. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Bujumbura, Burundi.
Aspects of cooperation in various media means were at the center of the meeting of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Manin bin Mansour Al-Hassani, Minister of Information, with His Excellency Dr. Yaqub Ibrahim, Minister of Communications and Information of Singapore, who is currently on a visit to the Sultanate. During the meeting, they discussed cooperation and benefit from information experiences available in both countries. Marking the 11th of December anniversary of the Armed Forces, the Royal Air Force of Oman held a ceremony to this precious occasion in Governorate of Muscat. His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Mohammed Al-Shabibi, Minister of Housing, presided over the ceremony. The ceremony included a show with weapons, movement and slow march. The band of the Royal Army of Oman presented shows and musical pieces in addition to poetic sessions as well as martial arts. After that, the Sultan of Oman parachute presented free jump shows. The accompanying exhibition displayed a number of planes, weapons and Air Force equipment. Then the chief guest toured various sections of the exhibition. The Royal Navy of Oman, RNO, held a ceremony on the occasion of Armed Forces Day and Retirement Day at Saeed bin Sultan Naval Base under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar Al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth. The ceremony started with the national anthem and the performance of the salute to the chief guest. After that, the chief guest inspected the front column of the Royal Guards. During the ceremony, medals of long service and good conduct were pinned on a number of officers in Royal Navy of Oman. The chief guest also delivered a speech to praise the efforts of RNO in maintaining peace and stability across the country. Then group of military shows and various skills and a number of musical shows were performed. A number of parachute affiliated to Sultan of Oman Parachute Regiment displayed free jump shows. At the end of the ceremony, the participants chanted RNO Nasheed and cheered, thrice proclaiming allegiance and loyalty to His Majesty the Sultan, Supreme Commander of Armed Forces. The first international Pharmacovigilance Conference started in Muscat under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al-Hosni, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Health for Health Affairs. The two-day conference is organized by the Ministry of Health, represented by the Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs and Drug Control, with the participation of all GCC countries. The conference aimed at raising awareness among pharmacists in all public and private hospitals on the necessity of monitoring and following up the side effects of the medication, which known as following up medicine for post-marketing. The Ministry of Health, represented by Nutrition Department at the Directorate General of Primary Health Care, organized a conference on food and treatment nutrition with the aim to discuss latest developments and nutrition practices that are based on scientific evidence in treating diseases related to nutrition, besides modern experiences exchange in feeding, therapeutic, nutrition and food services. A national poetic evening was organized by entrepreneurs in cooperation with Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Riyada and Rafat Fund. The event, which was held in the premises of the authority and the Rafat Fund, was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Nadir bin Mohammed Al Said. It witnessed the participation from a number of poets from those interested in national poems. The poets delivered poems praising His Majesty the Sultan and the achievements realized during His Majesty's glorious reign at all levels and walks of life. Within the aim to encourage students of Information Technology Section, an Innovation Data Management Forum for the Omani project owners was held in the Wilaya of Sohar. The forum, which was held at Sohar Applied Sciences College in cooperation with Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Sohar, was an opportunity to exchange knowledge among the participants in various techniques field. A seminar was held in the Wilaya of Nizwa with the aim to develop the education system in the Governorate of Dakhiliya. It witnessed an attendance from a number of academics and experts in this field to discuss many topics related to development of education field. It also included discussions on National Center for Education and Examinations project. The 15th International Arab Conference for Information Technology was held in the University of Nizwa. under the auspices of His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Rasbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense. It discussed a number of topics on science and information technology, in addition to ideas related to modern technologies and programs. It witnessed a participation from more than 100 researchers from 20 countries. Nizwa Applied Sciences College organized an awareness campaign, Together We Can Stop Spreading Ebola. The campaign came to confirm the necessity of the educational institutions' activation with the local issues. It included a number of lectures and targeted items to spread awareness on the risk of the diseases and how to prevent from it. Within the program of social responsibility for BP Oman Company for Exploration, an introductory meeting on the company initiatives for social investment was held in Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the Governorate of Dhahra. The meeting aimed to present the youth initiatives and encourage youth to establish their small and medium enterprises. His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Hamir al-Malik al-Sheikhi, Governor of Dhahra, presided over the ceremony. Within the aim to get acquainted with the implementation of Omani strategy study for developing the tourism sector, the Ministry of Tourism organized a workshop in Governorate of Musandam. The workshop also aimed to highlight opportunities and challenges which face the sector at various levels. It discussed the best suggested ways to put them within the strategy plan. A training drill program for the schools of the Vilayah of Madaibi in the Governorate of North Sharqiya in how to implement total evacuation organized by Civil Defense and Ambulance Center at Sinau School for Basic Education in the Niaba of Sinau. Male and female students, teaching and administrative staff from participating schools were acquainted with evacuation in its different stages. It is considered one of the important aspects applied by public authority for civil defense and ambulance for spread awareness among the members of the society. Partnership seminar with the people concerned in the education field in developing the system of educational evaluation and examinations in the Governorate of South and North Sharqiya discussed educational evaluation system to contribute in establishing strategy of the National Centre work for educational evaluation. Specialists from the General Diwan of the Ministry of Education in cooperation with Scotland Qualification Authority participated in this seminar. Salalah College of Technology held a ceremony to celebrate the 44th Glorious National Day. It included various activities, namely operetta on His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and Oman, poetry sessions in addition to traditional Omani singing arts performed by the students. During the celebration, the participants expressed their sincere feelings towards His Majesty the Sultan, praying to Almighty Allah to protect His Majesty and bestow upon him health and happiness. A workshop on methods of treating with emergency and accident cases was held in Marriott Resort in the Vilayah of Mirbat in the Governorate of Dhofar. His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Ahmed al-Ghuraibi, Wali Mirbat, presided over the ceremony. Medical cadres from the Governorate of Dhofar and Al-Wusta participated in this workshop. The Nakhal Through History Forum was held in Nakhal Fort under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Harib bin Thuwaini bin Shahab al-Said, Assistant Secretary General of the Council of Ministers for Conferences. It was organized by the Vilayah of Citizens and Office of the Nakhal Wali under the supervision of the Literary Club and Ministry of Heritage and Culture. It included various work papers on literature and geography. In addition to scientific and heritage exhibitions, the participants expressed that such forums are significant to highlight various historical aspects of the Vilayah and to acquaint the members of the society to its deep-rooted past. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog over the parts of the Governorates, Dhahra, Buraimi, Wusta and the coastal areas. Winds will be northerly to northeasterly light to moderate along the southeastern coast and along the rest of the Sultanate. It will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate along the southeastern coast and the western coast of the Governorate of Musandam with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. Along the rest of the coast, it will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from Chairman of Council of Deputies of Libya related to aspects of cooperation between the two countries. The 4th International Arab Infrastructure Technology Forum calls for the necessity of creating pan-Arab countries' technologies. And in a statement to Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, the Minister of Manpower says all parties of production contributed in formulating the new labour law. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, thank you for watching and good night.